Imagine this, Jesus Christ, a prophet and not actually the Son of God in the traditional sense. Astonishing, perhaps. But before you dismiss it, let's embark on a journey through various religious scriptures that might just challenge your preconceived notions. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, presents Jesus, or Isa as he's known in Arabic, as a revered prophet. In Surah Maryam it states, Jesus said, "Indeed, I am a servant of God. He gave me the scripture and made me a prophet." The Quran further emphasizes that Jesus was born to Mary as a result of a miraculous birth, not a divine incarnation of God. Now consider the Christian Bible. In the book of John, chapter 14, verse 28, Jesus himself says, "The Father is greater than I." In the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 32, he admits, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." These verses suggest Jesus acknowledging a higher power, God, who knows more than he does, a trait not typically associated with a divine being. Adding to this, in the book of Matthew chapter 13, verse 57, Jesus refers to himself as a prophet. "But Jesus said to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town and in his own home." This reference further intensifies the debate about Jesus's divine nature. Continuing with this line of thought, let us ponder over a few points. If Jesus is the only begotten Son from God, then why would he teach the Lord's Prayer by saying, "Our Father"? This raises questions about Jesus' relationship with God. If a father had just one son, then why would that son instruct others to call his father Father? Surely this implies a more collective relationship rather than an exclusive one. Furthermore, Jesus also said that men and women who do the work of God would also be known as sons and daughters of God. If this is true, then how could Jesus be the only Son? These statements seem to contradict the notion of Jesus being the sole offspring of God. This brings into question the traditional understanding of Jesus' divinity and opens up a fascinating discussion about the nature of God according to Jesus' teachings. Delve deeper into the New Testament and you'll find Jesus frequently referring to himself as Son of Man, a title that denotes his humanity, not his divinity. In the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 37 he says, "As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man." Here Jesus is referring to himself in the third person as Son of Man, not Son of God. Like the Lord's Prayer, it begins with "Our Father in heaven," not "my Father," but "our Father." This implies a shared relationship with God among all of humanity, not a unique paternal relationship between Jesus and God. These sayings seem to contradict such a notion. The Baha'i faith also supports the view of Jesus as a prophet, not the Son of God. In Baha'u'llah's writings, he states, "Know thou that when the Son of Man yielded up his breath to God, the whole creation wept with a great weeping." Here, Jesus is referred to as the Son of Man, emphasizing his role as a prophet and messenger of God. This exploration merely scratches the surface of a vast sea of religious texts and interpretations. It serves as an invitation for you to dive deeper, to question, to challenge, and to seek understanding. Remember, the aim here isn't to convince or convert, but to encourage open-minded exploration and discussion, to challenge traditional understandings and inspire curiosity, to spark a desire to understand more about the fascinating, complex, and diverse world of religious beliefs and interpretations. So, delve into the texts, ponder the evidence, ask the hard questions, and form your own opinions. Because the journey towards understanding is just as important as the destination. As we delve deeper into these religious texts, it's important to consider the role of scholars in translating these scriptures. These learned individuals, while striving for accuracy, may have inadvertently implemented their own interpretations into the English translations. This could contribute to the contradictions and variations we find, especially in the New Testament. So, when you approach these texts, do so with an open mind and a critical eye. Remember that while the words may be divine, the translation is human. So while exploring these scriptures, remember to consider the potential influence of human interpretation. In our quest for understanding, it's important to question even the most ingrained beliefs. Some may ask, why did God the Most High give Adam sons? The answer often provided is that God knew Adam would eventually pass away, and it's the son who carries on his father's name because of the death of the father. This leads us to another question. Tai, is this the reason why Jesus is referred to as the unbegotten Son, because God will also eventually die? It's a provocative question, but one worth considering. However, many would argue that applying the concept of mortality, which is a human condition, to God, would be a form of blasphemy. This concept, while reasonable from a human perspective, may not apply to the divine. As we continue our exploration, let's remember to keep an open mind and respect the diversity of beliefs and interpretations that exist within and across faiths.